Today, I want to talk to you guys about the comparison loop, okay? It's a very human thing. We all fall into comparison. We all compare ourselves. We all judge ourselves and measure ourselves up to other people. Um, and this is a loop that I myself fall into a lot as well. So, as much as this video is helping you guys out, it's also helping me out to explain this, right? Because I'm sick and tired of it. All right. I'm done comparing. There's genuinely no point. I've genuinely looked at it all so meticulously and I've studied this thing. Like, it's just like there's genuinely no benefit. There's very little benefit, which I will get into it in this video, but overall, you will do yourself a much better service than to not compare at all. Okay. Because it won't get you anywhere at all. So I want to go through that with you today, the loop and cycle of comparison. Okay. Um, it's not going to be a long video, so I want to just get straight into it. Pretty much, comparison in itself is obviously comparing yourself to someone else and you think that they're better than you. Okay. Let's say you're a boxer and you've been training for a good 2 years on and off. You've been training on and off 2 years and you meet someone, a beginner, that's just started training. Okay. Months go by and let's say it's now the fourth month for the beginner. Okay, it's the beginner's fourth month. You're there in that gym. You've kind of watched him grow. You've kind of observed him and seen how he's improving, etc. Coach now gets you guys into spar, and you being the more experienced fighter, being the one who's trained longer and has put more time into this sport, you spar this beginner and he beats the shit out of you. Okay? Straight like that. He beats the shit out of you. Like outclasses you. He's, giving you a better fight than you thought. Alright? Now some things are gonna come out to you and it's gonna be like, alright, maybe he's just gifted, maybe he's this, maybe he's that. But that's already one of the parts of this loop. Okay, that's already you starting to compare yourself. Okay, it goes in everything else in life. It goes with school, with tests, with dating, with work, anything you do at your workplace. There might be somebody else that's trying to get the same role that you're trying to land, and you're comparing yourself to them. All right. So this loop is very prevalent in all our lives. So I want to get into that because it does not mean that that person is better than you. Okay. That's what people think comparison is. Like, oh, I'm comparing myself. Are they better than me? Just that. It genuinely does not mean. Okay. It does not. It doesn't mean that. So what comparison truly means for me and how you should start to view it now. Comparison for me and how I view it now is literally a signal. Okay. And that signal is telling me, okay, if I ever compare myself and I fall into that loop, it's telling me that I have much more potential than I think I do. And that's what you should start to view it as now. Okay? That's what comparison is trying to tell you. It's a signal. It's trying to tell you that this person has showed you the level that you should be at, that you have potential to get to, you know? That's what comparison should tell you. And I'm going to break it down further. So, this loop, if I'm going to break it down from the start, it starts from inspiration. Okay. As I said, you're a boxer, you're a worker, you're in school, or whatever you're doing, whatever your craft is. And I'll get into that as well because it does matter what your craft is. Okay. Because we don't compare ourselves on everything. Okay. We don't care about everything to compare ourselves on everything. All right. Note that down. So it's like, you're a boxer. I'll just use boxing as an example because I box myself. So you're a boxer. You're inspired. You just watched Hajime no Ippo. You're lit. You're seeing Ippo on the bags. You're seeing Takamura. Everything. You're lit. You're watching Ryan Garcia. You're watching Terrence Crawford. All these people. You're excited. You're getting inspired. You're like, damn, I'm gonna kill training. All this stuff like that. So that's where the inspiration starts. All right. You get inspired. You probably start training a lot harder. You're more amped up, and then that's you taking the action. So you're training harder, you're amped up, you're doing your runs, you're hitting the bags, you're showing up to training. This is the action part. All right. We haven't even got to the comparison yet, the part bit. But this is how this loop stops. This is how this loop starts. And if you can catch it before you get to doubt, then that's a good place to be. But if you don't catch it, it leads to doubt. And it leads to doubt here because when you're in that action phase, and then we go back to that sparring match with the beginner or someone that's been training a lot less than you, and he beats the shit out of you, now you're doubting yourself, and now you're thinking, oh, I'm actually not as good as I used to be. Like, I'm actually not like that. I'm not him anymore. I'm not. I thought I was like that. I'm clearly not. So that's the doubt. And once this doubt starts, you start to compare. Always. Always. Once this doubt starts, you will compare. Okay? And you will compare against your opponents. You will compare yourself against your rival. You will compare yourself against your friend. Whoever the target is, you're going to compare yourself to because they are the trigger of that doubt. Okay? Once you compare, you're going to start trying to prove yourself. Now, this may show up however way you want it to show up. It shows up in different ways because we're all different. But evidently, it stems from the same symptom and it's proving yourself. So, in boxing, you might try to one up this person. You might try to, you know, work a lot more harder. You might try to do something to prove to either yourself or either the other people that have witnessed whatever this thing was, have witnessed this match or have witnessed you being triggered in that moment. So once you compare, you're going to try to prove yourself. And that's the cycle, okay? And it repeats. It's constantly like that. Because once you do prove yourself, you could either win, and that could mean you proved yourself right. So you were like, oh, I actually am like that. I proved myself to myself. Or you could have proved yourself externally and you could have proved this to other people that, yeah, look, I'm actually like this. I'm actually better than you guys thought, whatever, whatever. Or you might lose. And it's the same way. You might prove yourself wrong. You might prove externally wrong. Either way, it's win or lose. And this does not matter because even though it's win or lose, once that last trigger is gone, there's going to be a new trigger. And it's going to be the same thing inspiration, action, doubts, compare, prove. And it's that constant cycle. All right. And I say that because we don't compare ourselves on things that we don't care about. So it has to start with inspiration because you don't you don't feel inspired about everything. All right? I run marathons, I run, half marathons. I run a lot. Before when I didn't run, I never gave a fuck about running. But now that I do run, I care about running, which means I want to do good and I want to be great at it, you know? I like darts, but I don't give a fuck about darts. Okay? So if I'm playing darts with someone that's like a professional dart player, if I beat them, they might have, depending on their ego, they might have this whole loop. They could have that. Or something, it could trigger something within them because they're meant to be the professional. I'm not. I'm just the one that's enjoying the sport. You know? I like darts, but I don't care enough to want to improve at darts or to want to be better at darts. So I'm not gonna be comparing myself or watching best dart clips and highlights to be better and then compare myself to those 1% people. Or I'm not gonna be going to challenge people at playing darts and then trying to beat them at darts. And then if I lose, I'm starting like I'm not. I don't care about darts that much. I find it fun, it's entertaining, but I don't personally care that much. We only compare ourselves on things that we genuinely care about. And that's why it's a signal, because it's telling you this is your potential. All right. You're seeing that person is acting as a mirror. And as them acting as a mirror, it's triggering you and showing you that this is the level that you could be at, or this is the potential that you have. And you need to be able to work to that, get to that place. Okay. It happens a lot, and it's a feeling of activation. Comparison will always feel like envy, always, and it's not envy. It's just it's showing where your ego is attached and where your ambition is attached as well. That's why it's a great way to gauge where you're at. Once again, it's a signal. I'll keep saying this because if you're ambitious about something, if you genuinely care about something, comparison will show up there. And if it does show up there, that shows that you're actually alive. That shows that there's still a fire within you towards this said thing. Okay. And there's different ways this loop can happen as well. That's why I have this here because it can start from inspiration, it goes into action as always, but before it goes into doubt, you can start comparing instantly. All right, it goes into action, you can start comparing. It matters with everything, with freedom, status, money, success, dating, women, like everything. So if you're with your friend at a bar and he's getting all the girls, you both were inspired to go to the bar. You both took action. He's the one winning. You might not doubt yourself at first, but you're going to compare and you're going to be like, oh, well, he's taller than me. He has more money than me. He's better looking with this, that. So it only makes sense that he's kind of getting more girls. I'm kind of in the shadow. It is what it is. It might start off as comparison as well, but that's still going to lead to doubt, and that's going to lead to doubt because we're human. It's only normal. Like, you're going to start doubting yourself about that. But if you can catch yourself out of this doubt as soon as possible, the problem is doubts. That's the thing. That's the issue here. The problem is the doubt. And if you can catch yourself out of that doubt, it breaks the loop. So if you don't, you're gonna doubt yourself, and it leads back to proving. It's gonna lead back to proving, and you're gonna try to prove yourself. You're gonna try to pick up more women than him. You're gonna try other methods, other things. You're gonna try to make yourself look better. You're gonna try one up the person, and it goes back to win or lose. You could end up winning, and you can prove yourself internally. You can prove yourself externally. It doesn't matter. You can lose internally, externally. It doesn't matter. It's still going to go back to the same loop. All right. Because you're chasing that feeling of being better than others. That's the point. And comparison, there's always a person better. Like, this is one thing that I had to realize. This is one thing that we all, especially men, us men need to realize this a lot. There's always someone better. There's always someone stronger. There's always someone bigger. There's always someone faster. There's always someone smarter. There's always someone, better looking. There's always someone with more money. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. Now, I do believe that you can be the best at something or one of the best, but it's difficult. And to be in the top 1%, you need to be able to work to get there. I'm not saying you have to let the top 1% be the top 1%. That's not what I'm saying. Just because there's people better doesn't mean you can't be an exception as well. That's just how I think. I'm a bit psychotic with this shit. I don't care if there's people better than me. I'm gonna work as if I can become better than everybody. That's just how I think. But I'm not seeking to be the best because I know it's a destructive place to be. I'll work like I want to be the best, but deep down I know it's destructive and I'm not gonna put all myself into that. An example I'll give is Musashi Miyamoto, the samurai from Japan. He sought invincibility, okay? He sought to be the best at everything, and that's damn near impossible because with time, someone will always emerge better, okay? Maybe at some point he was the best, but with time, someone will always come and be better. With Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, they all had their time. But that's the thing. It's time. With time, somebody else will emerge, and they will become better for that time. That's why there's no point seeking invincibility. There's no point seeking being the best. What I'm seeking is undeniability. That's what you guys should be seeking as well. Be undeniable. And that means no matter what, people cannot dismiss you because you've done so many things to prove that this person is literally a dangerous person. This person is literally an exception. They're not the best, but they're an exception. You know, like LeBron James is the best in the NBA currently, whatever. But Look at all the other NBA players. We can't deny them. To get in the NBA is severely difficult. It's a lottery, pretty much. We can't deny that the other players, Kevin Love, Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, they're not the best. They never were in the greatest category conversation, but we can't deny them. They're undeniable because they're still in that arena. They're still in that place. So they could have sat back and been like, "Oh, the top 1% is LeBron, Michael Jordan, all these people," but they could have allowed that and not worked to be in that same space as them. But they didn't. They were like, "That's cool. That's the top 1%. I'm gonna keep working myself, and maybe I'll become a top 1%er." And now they are. That's the whole point. If you can break this doubt loop and start comparing to yourself, because that's the only comparison that matters, is the one with yourself. Yes, we'll feel inspired. Yes, we'll take action. Yes, somebody will come and humble you, or life will humble you. Yes, you'll feel that doubt, but catch yourself out of that doubt. Don't compare yourself so loosely and destructively to other people, and don't prove yourself to the world. Prove yourself to yourself first. That's what matters the most. All right. Compare yourself to yourself. That's what matters most. Who you were yesterday, who you were last week, who you were last month, who you were last year. That's what matters the most. Not the next person, not the beginner, not the semi-pro, not the professional. It does not matter. They are only mirrors. They're only serving as mirrors to where you want to go. That's why you're getting pissed off. That's why you're feeling that signal of comparison. Is because you know deep down this person just displayed a level that I myself can be at as well. All right. And life is showing you that. They are showing you that. They are the mirror. And you're looking into that mirror, which means you need to get up off your ass and start doing the work to get to that next level because you clearly have the potential for it, or else you wouldn't be feeling that signal of comparison. I would never feel the feeling of comparison with a dart player because I don't care enough. So if I got whooped in darts and I lost completely badly, I don't care because I'm not feeling that comparison signal because I'm not ambitious about darts. I'm not ambitious about cooking. I'm not ambitious about fashion. I'm not ambitious about other things that people are interested in, like F1 racing. I don't care. I could lose badly. I don't care. I could lose badly in baseball. I don't care. I could lose badly in badminton or tennis. I don't care. I'm not going to compare myself because that's not my arena. But for my arena, I will compare about boxing. I will think about running. I will think about, you know, gym and all this stuff like that as well. But I gotta catch myself. I gotta know there's more people, there's better people out there. That's fine. I'm comparing myself to who I was. This is the arena that I want to be in. So when I see someone else that's better than me in my same arena, that's okay. Take it on the chin. It's a signal. I'm gonna feel that envy. I'm gonna feel that comparison for sure. I'm human. But take it on the chin. It's a signal that I myself can be better. So I'm gonna use that as fuel. All right. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. Is this comparison loop? We all fall into it. Once again, it's inspiration, action, doubt, or you can start comparing. Either way, okay? It goes down to comparison. You prove yourself, you try to prove yourself, and that's the same loop. And once you're proving yourself, you could either win or lose. Either way, it doesn't matter because you're still going to find something new to compare yourself on. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.